talk further about all of this with Democratic Congressman from Texas, Vicente Gonzalez. Congressman Gonzalez, good to see you. So, I mean, these are very disturbing, allegations. And when you hear about reports like this, what's your reaction?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I want to begin by saying I was one of the most staunchest opponents of lifting Title 42 and some of the changes that have gone on along the border. But I have to say, undocumented illegal migration through the border right now has gone down by 70%. So around my border area, it's pretty quiet and unremarkable. These are grandstanding ideas that our governor has decided to display to the United States. They don't make sense. They're inhumane. It's abusing women and children and elderly in 110-degree weather that have already struggled to get to that place. And I'm against irregular immigration of any type, but our humanitarian obligation should continue as Americans. I can tell you a lot of Texans along the border are really disappointed with what we've seen recently.
We know the explanation is, the buoys and the razor wire is to keep people from crossing. But in your view, given the consequences of such and the reports that we're hearing with the cuts and, threatening, people's lives in terms of drowning possibilities, what do you believe the objective has been?
Yeah. Well, it's been abusive. It hasn't been helpful. It's inhumane. When you see humans come into the border with scars and cuts on their body by something that only one governor in the entire country has decided to do, it's really shameful. And I think that there's other ways to address the irregular migration along our border in an ethical, humane way. And certainly our governor has not done that.
Governor Greg Abbott did take to Twitter on Friday in defense of Operation Lone Star, saying Texas has sovereign authority to defend the border. In your view, how far does that authority reach?
There's a point where the state jurisdiction ends and the federal jurisdiction begins. And certainly along the border, in the middle of the river, defending our borders have always been a federal jurisdiction, and we've always worked well with our state partners. This is the first time, and this is why there's complaints within his own department. These are Texas state troopers that are contradicting the government's will and the governor's will and saying this is inhumane and you're making us do something that we don't agree with.
In a significant development, the U.S. Justice Department says it's now working with Homeland Security and other agencies to assess what they're calling these troubling reports. Does this suggest to you, an escalation toward, action directly from the administration? What really can it do in terms of threatening to penalize the Texas governor or these actions?
Well, there's a lot of different ways they can do it, but hopefully in the next few days, you'll see the governor and our state officials come to their senses and do what's appropriate along the border and act humane and be good partners with the federal government and federal agencies that are down here. But if we don't see that, I think you're going to see legal action in federal courts in Washington, D.C., and it's going to be really shameful.
What are you hearing from your constituents about this?
Well, my constituents just want to keep our border safe, first of all, and keep trade and commerce and tourism crossing the border safely. But they don't like these eyesores that they see that have been displayed by just really one person in our state government. And the buoys that are out there that are creating they're an eyesore and they're creating irregular flow of waters. And it's clearly a danger to mankind.
Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.